from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Henrico teachers and parents are reacting to the school system surveys that went out Monday and the story of a Henrico family's fight to protect its land. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Today's Henrico News Minute is brought to you by Humana.
And now for the news.
Well, two surveys distributed Monday by Henrico County Public Schools officials, one for teachers and other staff members and the other for families with students in the system, already are stirring emotions among some recipients. The non-binding surveys are open through October 11th. The school system issued them in an attempt to gauge the prevailing winds from both groups about a possible return to some level of in-person learning, which potentially could begin as early as November 16th, the start of the second 9-week grading period. But there is frustration among several coordinated groups of teachers and staff members who feel that the one-question survey, which also included room for comments, was insulting because it asked them to select from 6 possible options if in-person learning resumes, choices that essentially amounted to yes, I'll return to school, or no, I'll resign, retire, seek leave time, or seek permission to teach virtually. There's also significant frustration among families who want their children to return to in-person learning. Several coordinated groups there have been lobbying for months for the school system to provide at a minimum the choice of in-person learning. Teachers want an option to teach virtually without any explanation until they feel safe returning in person, but some fear they might ultimately have to decide between returning when they don't feel safe or giving up their jobs and their paychecks. Today on HenricoCitizen.com, we take an in-depth look at this issue. You can visit our website and click on News and then Education to read it. Also today on HenricoCitizen.com, we take a long-form look at the issue of stormwater runoff and flooding, as well as homes built in floodplains in Henrico County. We look through the eyes of one Henrico family who's struggled for a number of years to have flooding issues on its property resolved, but has struggled to navigate the maze of various government agencies to do so. It's a story you won't want to miss. You can find it on HenricoCitizen.com by clicking on Community. A Danish company is entering the U.S. market with its first manufacturing facility and locating in Eastern Henrico County. The announcement was made by Governor Ralph Northam earlier this morning. The company, Rose Holm, is a manufacturer of threaded bolts for the food and beverage, wind power, and heat exchange industries in Northern Europe. It will invest $1.35 million in the facility, which will be located in the Eastport Distribution Center on South Laburnum Avenue in Varina. Virginia beat a bid from Indiana for the project, which will create 10 new jobs. Well, the pandemic could be driving an increase in opioid overdoses, according to recently published data and insights from people who work in a local treatment center in Henrico. VCU released a new study that shows a surge in patients at the VCU Medical Center who were admitted due to opioid overdoses during the pandemic. Researchers reported a 123% increase in non-fatal opioid overdoses at the emergency room between March and June of this year compared to the same period last year. The McShin Foundation, a Henrico-based drug recovery organization, also has seen an increase of people coming in for treatment during the pandemic. The organization provides 11 recovery houses and 122 beds for participants. You can read more on this topic by visiting HenricoCitizen.com, clicking on News and then Health. 4 more Henrico County Public Schools have experienced at least a case of COVID-19 since September 21st, according to data from the school system. All 4 schools are in Eastern Henrico, and none previously had reported a case during the summer or the new school year. They are Elko Middle, Montrose Elementary, Varina Elementary, and Baker Elementary. Now, the case at Montrose on September 30th actually involved an employee who had not been in the school since nearly 3 weeks earlier. The case at Varina was announced the same day. It also involved an employee who had not been at the school for more than 2 weeks. In total, the school system has now reported 33 cases at 26 schools since August. Commercial real estate firm Colliers International has announced that it will move its local office from one Henrico spot to another later this year. The company will move into about 27,000 square feet of space in December in the Holland Tower. That's just off Bethlehem Road near Staples Mill Road in the near West End. Colliers is currently based at Reynolds Crossing between West Broad Street and Glenside Drive. It'll be moving 134 employees to the new office and will house 150 employees there in total. Well, if you're a woman who loves football, here's an opportunity you might want to take a look at. The Richmond Black Widows, a women's football team, will hold tryouts for the upcoming season October 10th. That's this Saturday. It'll happen at Moody Middle School beginning at 8:30 a.m. You have to be 17 and a half or older to be eligible to try out. No experience is required. Standard COVID-safe practices will be observed with socially distanced drills and other measures. For details, visit richmondblackwidows.com. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Humana. Turning 65 and have questions about Medicare? Humana can help. Call licensed sales agent Eric Jones at 804-253-0056 to learn more.